No, we'd already be there if Roman wasn't driving Ford Knox on wheels.
You see me shining, baby.
We're locked inside.
It's a trap.
That's a bomb.
All right, dorks, what are we blowing up? What? The Vatican? Wow, you guys are going to hell.
G-Course.
Which means GAMECORES.
Nice.
So I would like to thank you first for accepting the interview with us today. And
My pleasure.
You know, it's also kind of sad to know that it's the finale of the saga.
Yeah, no one knows what you mean more than me. I think that, well, so much has changed in some way. And at the same time, we've been fortunate enough to maintain things that have always been important to the saga. The love of the car culture, that's something we've maintained. Family has always been maintained. Maybe in the first decade, it was family in relation to the idea of brotherhood. Maybe in the first decade, it was more about this Fast and Furious world where it doesn't matter where you're born, what you look like, what your culture is. You have a seat at the barbecue table and you can be a part of a family not bound by blood, but bound by brotherhood. I think the saga evolved then into the concept clearly of fatherhood. There are so many great action sequences, and because I've filmed so many of these movies for so long, sometimes it all feels like one big mythology. For other people, it feels like, oh, this is this film, or this is Fast 5, or this is Fast 1. But for me, it just feels like a continuous mythology. And that's why this finale feels so bittersweet, because I feel like it's the finale to a story that began 23 years ago, when I was at a different place in life, when the world was at a different place. Oh, that's a rough one. That's a rough one. You haven't seen him in the passenger seat that often in this franchise. Except in the first one when he's running away from the cops and Brian O'Connor comes in. Not a whole lot of times when you're gonna see him in the passenger seat. But I've got to say, Letty is such an incredible driver that I could imagine seeing him, if it's not Brian O'Connor, but probably Brian O'Connor, the number one. The number one is Brian O'Connor. That's who I see him in the passenger seat with. Brian O'Connor, it'll feel like old times. Any secrets and cool stuff? A couple of things. One is, we've always envisioned, and it's very ambitious, but Fast X being the finale, we've envisioned filming on all 7 continents. And that's no easy task, but we at least got Antarctica out of the way. You'll see in this movie. I have looked at a lot of concept art about the possibility of filming within China, which would be a dream come true for me. You know, one of the best premieres that I've ever gone to in this Fast franchise was when I went to China, to Beijing, and I saw firsthand how much love China has for this mythology.
This is your last ride.
Then you might want to buckle up.